The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for the Diagnostic Trading Hour with your host, Darrell Martin. Now, Darrell Martin.
All right, folks, welcome on here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. I'm your host, Darrell Martin, right here on TFNN. Don't forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world on your mobile phone at tfnn.mobi. And check out the live Tiger TV right there at tfnn.com. Listen to live traders commentary throughout the day. Right now we got the S&P. It is down 1 point. The Russell's down, up 4.6. We got the NASDAQ up 11 and the Dow down 16. It's pretty flat, but a little bit of movement across the market right there. We'll go on over at oil. It is up a whopping 3 cents, but there have been some great moves. Natural gas right now is up over 3.5%, with corn currently up 5 points after that massive, volatile up and down move on the ag report that came out today. Same with soybeans. Soybeans, though, decided to stay on up there. It's up 32 points on the day, nearly 3%. So massive move there in soybeans. We got euro dollar is currently down 35 pips. And we have, let's see, we got the Aussie dollar down 44 with the pound dollar down 33. Dollar CAD is currently up 8. Dollar franc up 23. Euro yen up 6. Pound yen down 9. Dollar yen up 24. So not a whole lot of movement right there. We did have some big moves on the yen announcement that came out last night. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But basically, despite all the pumping and dumping and everything else going on, GDP is not improving. And they're talking about possibly implementing some taxes because they just went into 10 quadrillion, you heard it right, quadrillion yen in debt, they announced last Friday. So it's now it's yen, but still, it's a lot. And going over, we can look, and it comes out to, what is that, like, I don't know, a 10 trillion or whatever. But gold is currently up 22 points on the day. Nice big move on gold. We got silver up 4.5%. That's right, 4.5%. Massive move in silver on the day right now. And we'll see where it all ends up, because silver is a volatile instrument. We got copper currently is, let's see, about flat on the day. It's only down 0.14% on the day. Well, let's go ahead and see what news we have coming up this week. We'll also check out some potential trades for the day. But no, just big high-impact news was really on the roster for the day. We do have some other things coming out later this week. So we're going to have the UK CPI coming out, the U.S. core retail sales. We're going to have the MPC meeting minutes and the UK retail sales. We'll also have the U.S. core CPI. So those are like your big announcements. But let's go in and just sort of dig a little deeper into what we're looking for, and we'll maybe talk about a couple of the news reports coming out tomorrow and see what kind of plan you might be able to come up with for a few of those announcements. Okay? Well, let's see here. Like I said, yesterday we had a couple announcements come out. We had the preliminary GDP come out of the yen, and it came in at 0.6% with an expectation of 0.9. Their CGPI came in a little better than expected. Their preliminary GDP price index came in a little better than expected. But again, their preliminary GDP, the most important barometer there of economic growth with everything they've been doing, and basically just below the growth. So that's really going to, like I said, they had this big tax debate. We're talking about this big 10% tax on all sales and services. And so that's just going to make that a whole lot bigger of a debate, because how can we implement more taxes if GDP is slowing? That's only going to take money out of the economy. It's not going to speed things up. But we have all this debt, and we're printing all this money, so we got to recover that. And but it's welcome to the new Fed stimulus issues. So coming up and coming to a country near you very soon. But anyway, so not quite the expectation on it. Let's go ahead and we'll pull a chart up over here, and I'll get that up on the screen for you so we can look at the impact on the yen itself. And let me see right here. We'll go right over. We'll pull up the dollar yen and look that one on up. So give it a second to load. And like I said, we had quite a bit of volatility on it. So right here we started way down and had this big drop right here on this GDP, and sort of showed the yen getting weaker, and then it popped back up. That number came out at 750, okay? And so it sort of like it stopped everybody out, and then the yen got weaker, being the GDP being negative, and it trailed on back up, and sort of really has basically stayed above settlement ever since it got back up there right around 11 o'clock last night. And we can go and look at a couple of the other major pairs as well. We got pound yen, and we don't have the deviation levels auto-plotted for these yet, but we're working on them to where they'll auto-feed into the server. But it's basically just sort of hopping up and down, not doing a whole lot. We're pretty much where we were at last Friday. So no major move on the pound yen with that major down, and I mean, a lot of volatility. But and we'll go and look at one more pair. We'll check out the euro yen. So on the euro yen, we can see very similar results here. I think I'll update my template right there so we don't keep getting that little pop-up message. There we go. And it's just a lot cleaner. And drop on to the 10-minute bars. Okay. So right there you can see just basically just moving up and down from where it was last week. And so we're really just sort of amazing with all the pumping they're doing and everything else. But they're committed to that pumping. So don't worry. They'll keep trying to add some pressure there. And but if nothing else, gave you a lot of volatility to be able to trade it. So made it through some great trades last night. And let's go on. Let's look at today. Today we had a couple things come out. Nothing just major. Next thing coming up is the federal budget balance report here in about 45 minutes. Usually not a massive impact on anything. Will become a little bit more important since we do have the budget votes and everything coming up about extending the, debt and how they're going to deal with sequester, and are they going to shut things down, and the whole, chicken game they like to play. But anyway, but really it's not just a major market mover unless it's just really, really off. And usually it's not that off on the forecast. But we may get, last time it came in, a decent amount off, but it just haven't ever seen just a consistent big impact on that federal budget balance report. So I don't really pull it as one of my major stat movers. If it's off a lot, it can definitely cause a change. So that's just the big thing to see. Right now the expectation is negative 95 billion. So if it comes in a lot different, then that could hurt it. If the number comes in worse than the expectation, the dollar should get weaker. If the number comes in higher than the expectation, the dollar should get stronger. Okay? So again, that comes up in 45 minutes. Just be aware of it. And we got retail sales. They came out of Switzerland. So let's go ahead and check out the dollar franc and see how it's doing. I'll pull that one on up right now. And so on the retail sale front there, moved on up. Retail sales came in better than expected last night at 2.3%. And we did see a nice trend on up. Number came in at 3:15 in the morning. And as you can see, news, it was sort of nice because the news went right with it, but it didn't all happen at once. So that's one I may add to my roster. I may go back and start reviewing that chart. It's not a fast trade, but it's a great trend trade. So it was really adding just to a nice trend, went right up to one deviation really clear before it decided to turn on back around. And it took its time up there. So it would have given you plenty of opportunities to go, this is probably not a good idea to be in here any longer and hop on out of the trade. And if you're using the 10-minute deviation stop method, it took its sweet time. You can see like right here, we always trail our stop when it closes above the deviation level. And right here we got pretty close. So we actually got right on the deviation, but we didn't close above it. It wasn't until about 7:50 this morning that we closed above the deviation level. So right here, this bar at 7:50, closed above it. That's where we would have been setting our trailing stop at. And, now you may have had some other trailing stop. I have 7 different triggers I use for trailing my stops. That's one of them. And so if no other one's triggered, then about 10:40, it would have triggered. But you had just a nice move. And even if you just joined in the direction of the report, like I said, retail sales came in better than expected at 3:15. So you could go over here and you go, well, let's look at right about 3:15. So right about here, the report comes out. You could have easily bought, and you could have just enjoyed the trend. So the trend was already going up. The number was better than expected. It was very range bound before it. So you could look at like some 3 a.m. binaries. That'd be something else to maybe, log in your journal right there. Potential binary butterflies heading into the dollar franc retail sales report. So these are things that I try to look at. When I look at different announcements that come out, I go, hey, was it range bound? Oh, wow, it was. And that's a 3 o'clock report. Well, there's 3 a.m. expiring binaries. So that might be something that, I could use. So there's different things that you can put together and see, how that starts developing your trading plan over time, and you get a lot of plays in your playbook. Okay? And let's see, what else do we got over here that we could take advantage of? But that's really it. Now, tonight we do have probably a little volatility in our yen and Aussie pair, so that's good for you nighttime traders out there. We got core machinery orders and monetary policy meeting minutes coming out of the yen. That'll, like I said, probably add some volatility. Like to have, some decent trades. We also have the NAB business confidence report. It's not really an expectation number. There's no expected consensus, economic consensus. It's just a number that comes out. So you really shouldn't expect anything because there is no expectation. But it could cause like a 20 or 30 pip move in the Aussie and give you a little bit of a trade there, and then probably be done after that happens. Now, tomorrow, we do have the British pound is going to be releasing its CPI. At the same time, it's going to have its PPI input, its RPI, its core CPI, its HPI, and its PPI output, all happening at the exact same time, the big one being the CPI, the big high-impact report. That comes out at 4:30 in the morning. And so what we're going to come back. We're going to look at that in a little more detail here in just a moment. But first, we're going to go over and we're going to see if there's any potential trades that we might be able to take advantage of over on the Nadex exchange. If you don't have a Nadex account, hop on over, click on Nadex over on TFNN.com. And under markets, you can go ahead real quick and you can get your stuff set up right away. It's really fast. I'll show you how to do that in just a couple of minutes. But right now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to see if I can find myself a good trade. So right over here, there we go. And what I do is I put my risk here at 65 to 95. Say 0, and risk reward doesn't matter. You can put in the money. And then I'll make this 15 minutes till expiration. I'll scroll on down. I'll see if there's a trade that pops up. We may or may not have one. If we don't have one, that's okay. We just set aside and let it do its thing. And one may pop up. Now, if I want to get it a little wider just to see maybe is there something that would pop up, I'll go and I'll put that at 40. And that'll just widen out my parameters and go, okay, there potentially could be a 1335 gold come into play. And so knowing that, pull up a gold chart just in case, because, we do have 10 minutes, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it's quite a bit of time for a expiration play. So just if I want to get set up in advance, we also have a potential 2140. Maybe it'll come in and be a good trade. But right now that's in at 1335. We're at like 1335. Let's see here, 0.3. So 1335.0. Yeah, so we're right at the $50 mark on the gold. So I can't do anything with that trade at the moment. But if we do get some movement, and we are getting a little bit of a downtrend, so if it continues to move down, we might have a good trade. Stay right there. We may even talk about the at-the-money strategy we talked about last week. Be right back after this break.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Darrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzamento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Darrell takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
All right, folks, we'll come on here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. So right now we got the 1335 binaries. We're the only one that's available. I don't really see much else that's going to do us any good here in the last few minutes. And I even go in and I'll search to see if there's anything that might work in the last few minutes. But we got one of them. We're looking at it. It's going to be more of an at-the-money type binary strategy if we do get it at all. So right now the market is trading right at 1335. So it's trading at our strike. Okay? And now that's the underlying. Now the settlement price, which Nadex is now automatically showing live, which is pretty cool, is actually showing inside the scanner itself. So like inside the, not the scanner yet, but inside the tickets. We're going to be having the show inside the scanner. We have to set up a whole other fix connection to make this work. But you can see just a few ticks makes a big difference. And you can go in there, you can click that, and you can put that trade on. And so right now we have about 6-7 ticks. That's usually about the range that we are going for. And you can put that trade on. So once you get that one in there, then you'll see your position show up inside the scanner, and you can do that trade. So let me pull up a gold chart for you. Let's put that over here, and so you can see it. And then let's see here, right on this. Go in. Give me 1 second. I got to put this over here for you, so that way you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And bring this chart back on top, just so I can show you how this works. And I'll also talk a little bit about, I had a request the other day. Somebody asked me to talk a little bit about how the at-the-money expiration premium collection strategy would work. Obviously, it's a little bit different than this, but one of the cool features that Nadex has added in, they've actually put charts in, so I'm trying to see if we can pull those. I may even do it next time. I know they're doing some updates on some of their charts. But you go over here, and we'll pull in gold. And so right there. So basically what we did by selling the 1335, and this is pretty close, especially for gold. By selling the 1335, okay, what you're essentially saying is that it'll expire at or below. A sell means at or below 1335. If it goes above 1335, okay, you need to be out of this trade. At or below, you're profitable. Above it, you want to be out of the trade, okay? And in the last 2 minutes, this is something to always keep in mind. In the last 2 minutes, it's going to go like dark, meaning the only trades you're going to see are other traders. No market makers will be quoting, usually at least, in the last 2 minutes. So you're going to have a very hard time at getting out of the trade at that point. So if gold decides to make a last-second reversal on that pit close, which does happen occasionally, then the trade would lose. So we only have 5 ticks. I usually want a minimum. We're at the minimum of what I want. I usually want a minimum of 5 ticks on a trade. If you decide at any point in this trade that you're like, you know what, I don't want this trade, I'm out, okay, then you want to bail on that trade as quickly as possible, okay? If you decide, like, if you're like, I'm just not comfortable with this, I'm starting to see something, like if I see market noise ticking green, you know, if I'm looking at time and sells and all I'm seeing is up, even though it's going, you know, like down one, up a bunch, down one, up a bunch. If I just start seeing things like that, I'll just bail on the trade. So it's like a $5 loss, you know, move on. I'd rather have that than a $25 loss or $75 loss. Now, I always want to bail, okay? I always want to bail on a trade if it hits my strike. Like, that's the definite get out, okay? And you really want to follow that rule. And one nice thing I really like about Nadex doing this, now understand, this is not the official, okay, this is not the official settlement price. But it is nice to have, like, a frame of reference. It's sort of like the non-official, I guess you could say, settlement price. So, because the official settlement price, I mean, like, if you go up and try to pull up a settlement chart and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, look at all the, you know, it's just a chart. It's like bid and ask is not reflective of what was filled. So the official settlement price will be posted on their chart, but this will be right near close, if not exactly on it. But I just put that disclaimer out there for you, just to help out with that. But right now it looks like it's heading on down, and got some trades in. So got some people putting on orders to buy at 90. So I guess they're fishing. But anyway, so it moves down as long as it expires here in the next minute or so, you know, below that price, then we'll be profitable on the trade. We try to do these at least a few times a week, and, you know, I enjoy doing them when I can. One of the big things is to not pay attention, okay? Do not pay attention to the P&L in the last 2 minutes. It will freak you out, okay? And I'll explain why, but just look at how that bid or ask right now is at 89, and that means absolutely nothing, okay? So we'll be right back here in a minute. I'll talk more about why that P&L looks off in the last 2 minutes.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. With the stock market flirting with all-time highs and volatility back, now is the perfect time for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights. On Monday, June 24th, Tom O'Brien closed out all 5 open positions in his daily newsletter, Market Insights, with all trades being profitable and ranging from a 2.23% gain all the way to more than an 11% gain in just one position for an incredible 32.7% profit combined between the 5 trades. Let Tom O'Brien's years of market experience work for you. If you'd like to see for yourself what kind of trading newsletter Tom O'Brien delivers to his clients each morning, then now is a perfect time to sign up for a 2-week free trial to his daily newsletter, Market Insights. In a volatile market like we currently have, the potential for fast market moves like we've seen recently is a trader's dream. So don't wait any longer. Sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today at the front page of TFNN.com. With over 3 decades of commodity trading experience, Andy Hecht has developed a system that combines both technicals and fundamentals. He calls this approach Technomental, and now you can put it to work for yourself with his brand new service, the Technomental Commodity Report. In this weekly newsletter, which comes out each Thursday morning, Andy gives you his analysis of the market price direction bias using fundamentals, and then specific trade recommendations including entry and exit points using technicals. The recommendations in the newsletter are always based on stocks and ETFs, so a futures account is not required, and Andy will often use options in the recommendations as well. Andy will tell you where to get in, where to get out, and he'll outline the risk-reward profile for all recommendations. To get your month-long free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report by Andy Hecht while locking in the low introductory rate, visit the front page of TFNN.com today. Darrell Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Darrell Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, folks, come on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And so that trade expired in the money, profitable, not bad for a short 10-minute trade. I love doing those. I try to do them every day if we can, but at least a few days a week. And somebody sent me this is the one show they listen to. They love it because they make money while they're on the show, in and out. So very short trades. So most trades, you're putting on, you're spending some time in them, but we have a lot of great shows like that on here. I know I placed a number of trades with other traders on TFNN, listening to their shows and putting pieces together, and it's pretty cool just applying it to Nadex. So hopefully this show and many other shows here can help you out on that as well. But right there, so we went in, we put the trade on, and just a couple things, I guess tips to point out. Remember, I could not find any binary that qualified when I first looked, like at 15 minutes till expiration. So what I did was I went in, I expanded my risk parameters to show me basically the at-the-money binaries. And there was one available on gold. And that basically gave me 2 choices, okay? One is I could go in and I could either sell the at-the-money, and usually I'm going for about 20 to 30 bucks, so sometimes less. And but I could go in, and let's say I sold it at 50, I could buy it back at 30. It's a very small move requirement on an at-the-money binary near expiration. And I only have a $50 risk. So worst case scenario, if I sold it at 50, the worst I could lose is 50 versus being like 75 or 80, if I did a deeper in the money binary. So that's sort of nice. I'd probably more likely want to get out at 75 so I can still keep that 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So buy at 50, sell at 75, buy at 50, or sell at 50, buy back at 25. And on this one, so you could do that. You could have went in and sold at 50, bought it back at 30, made your $20. You could have sold it, say, at 30, 25, 20, held expiration, or sold it at 30 and bought it back at 10 as another option. And so, but when they're at the money, that's one of your choices. The other one is to just let me get ready. I was like, okay, here is the strike I'll be looking at. So I was able to pull up the chart and put it up on there. And basically be ready for the trade. I didn't know if the binary was going to go in the money far enough for me or not, but it did. And so I was able to place that trade, but I was able to be ready before it even showed up on the scanner. Okay? So, just a couple tips. Again, at the money, you can do it for like a $20 trade, but you probably want to use an equal reward to risk ratio. Or, my preference, in the money, and especially if you had the trend lined up. I mean, we had very, very smooth downtrend in gold, so that really was an ideal trade. It really didn't ever get in danger. It worked out very, very well. And every once in a while, you might even get a better risk reward than that, so if it's right at the money. So, I see one trader, they just sent over a note to me that they sold it at 73, I guess, and bought it at 27, I guess. So that's really fantastic. That's a great trade. As long as you're very confident it's going down, because at that point you are then selling an out of the money binary. So that would definitely be going a little bit beyond probably what I would do on a normal basis, because now you're requiring movement in your direction. What I'm trying to do is not have, when I say at the money, I still want it to be like in the money, like by a tick or something, because I don't want there to have to be movement to be profitable. That's part of what increases my probability. So it can decrease your profitability, but again, it increases your probability. And, you got to have a balance of both. So, and there's really no great way to get out of a $73 one. So you're going to take full loss probably on that trade if it doesn't move in your direction fast enough. Whereas the other ones do at least give you the chance to get out of the trade. But, I mean, it has there is a good risk-reward argument there. You just got to balance probability and profitability and be able to execute the trade effectively, being plan ability. All right, so that sort of wraps up our gold trade for the day. Let's go ahead and talk about, so I'll close that out. And let's go over here and let's talk about what we got coming up tomorrow. So tomorrow on the calendar, we got the UK CPI. We're also going to have the U.S. core retail sales. So both of those numbers are coming out. And so let's check them out and see what expectations we have on them as far as movements that we can take advantage of to place trades on the news using Nadex. And if you don't have a Nadex account, again, let me show you where to get that. Okay, so even if you just want to get a demo account, but hop on over here to TFNN.com, click on Nadex, and you'll be able to open up Nadex immediately, get right into it, and you can go to trading and just go to demo trading account. And then right there, it takes about 15 seconds to sign up. Get yourself a demo trading account. You click on create account, and you get a live account. It's only $100 to fund a live account. You probably want to fund it with more than that, but it's only $100 to fund a live one. But it only takes about 5 minutes to go from start to funded to actually do live trading on these. Now, I do recommend that you hop in and you do demo trade first. Get it down. Figure out how to use the buttons. Make mistakes in demo. It's a lot more forgiving teacher. And experience is a very cruel teacher in the world of trading. So, just learn how to execute. Learn, when this goes right, what do I do? When this goes wrong, what do I do? And treat it, realistically. Don't go in and just do like, I'm going to do 500 contracts. How many contracts would you really do? So if you put $1,000 in, how much would you really risk? And then manage the trade accordingly like it's live. I know it's not the same as far as all the emotional impact, but and it's so easy just to sort of play with it like it's just a video game. And what you're really trying to do is you're trying to use it to get you ready, okay? And people go, well, demo is worthless. I mean, that's like saying practicing football before the game is worthless. Okay, no, it's not worthless. It's good. It's very valuable to you. It hones your skills. It lets you know how to act and react and how to be proactive and, how to move. So you need to know how to move around that platform, how to be proactive, not just reactive. And if you do have to react, how to have fast, reactive impulses and know exactly what to do. So there's a lot of value in it, and I highly suggest it. And I placed the trade today in demo and in live. So on there, I did 10 contracts on both. And so if I ever want to do something weird, like I did a little bit more at the money in my demo, but I did the in the money binary. I did that on my live account. So, but over here we got, let's see, you can also get the diagnostic box spread analyzer. That's how I'm pulling these up and making it easy to find them. So anyway, so when we get that done, when we get it up and we're looking at everything over here on TFNN's site, and you've logged in and you got your scanners up and you need to know what's going to happen. Well, at 4:30, you know that Britain is going to release its CPI year over year. So it lets you know what time the report's going to come out. And in the morning, you know that the United States is going to release its core, retail sales. So on the UK CPI, what do we expect to come out of Britain? Well, the pound dollar, a little over 70% of the time, moves 50 pips on this report. The average move is 72 pips, 2 hours after the report comes out. And it usually spikes about 35 pips before doing a pullback and then going back in the direction. So knowing that information, I can go, okay, well, I probably should expect somewhere between a 50 and a 70 pip move. And I need to get my reward to risk in check. So I'm probably looking at somewhere between $30 and $40 on that trade. And combined with either a spread or a binary, straddle or strangle. And so I got to put those pieces together. And if I'll do them correctly, then I can set myself up a nice trade that will allow me to take advantage of the Nadex platform. And here's the big advantage is when one loses, the other one doesn't have to. Okay? So meaning I can go long and short. I don't have to pick my direction. And I can go in here and go, okay, spread scanner. And then what I'll do for news, I'll go like maximum risk 100. I'll go 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And then I'll choose. Okay, so say like pound dollar. And then instantly it's going to show me what spreads qualify. And then, I know the news comes out at 4:30, so I need a 5 a.m., a 6 a.m., or a 7 a.m. expiration. And so I'll be looking at the 5, 6, and 7 a.m. expirations. They'll all be up and ready before that report comes out. And then I can put on a straddle. So a straddle is going to basically, and right now, we're sort of sitting at a point, let's see here, right there. Okay, so 480, and basically where the two pieces come together, like that. All right, so there is a straddle example. The risk on that trade, fees included, okay, is going to come out to about $18. And not a lot of risk. If it goes either direction, but it has to do it in the next, 17 minutes. Okay, so it's a very low-risk trade, but there's not a lot of time for it to make the move. There's one over here that expires at 3. And let's see if we can get a good, there we go. So 3 o'clock, that one's a little bit better. 3 o'clock, that gives me an hour and 15 minutes. And gives me the same risk. Check that out. Exact same risk, okay, being $18. So that's a good straddle. If it moves up far enough, then I'll make my profit. Moves down far enough, then I'll make my profit. And so I just need to be able to cover the risk on the other side of the trade. And so what I do is I teach people combine the risk from both sides. So just as an easy example, say I have $10 risk on one side and $10 risk on the other. That's $20 risk. So I need to make $20. Now, I need to assume one side's going to lose. Both sides may win because it could fly up, I take profit, could fly back down, I take profit. But let's just assume one side's going to lose. Well, so that's $20 plus $10. So if I risk 20 initially, I want to make 20, right? So for at least a 1-to-1. And now, when I say 20, you can multiply this as big as you want to, depending on your account size. You could make it 200, 2,000, whatever, okay? But I'm just making it simple. So $20, $10 risk on both sides. So it's a $20 total risk. And then assume the other side loses, so you don't get that $10 back. So now I need to make $30 because I'm going to lose 10 on the other side. I'm going to get my 10 back from my long, like if it goes up, but I'm going to lose my $10 on my short. So I need to make $20, which was my total risk, plus I want to make the $10 on the other side. That's a $30 risk-reward trade, or reward with a $10 loss, meaning a $20 reward on a $20 risk. So simple formula. Total risk plus risk on other side equals the amount of pips I need to make on either side. So I need to make, let's say, 30 pips on the long side or 30 pips on the short side for the trade to be profitable. And so when I do that, I'm like, okay, so I bought it at 56.30. I need to be able to get out of it at, or 54.83. I need to get out of it at, 30 pips higher than that. So 55 and 17. Okay, would be my take profit goal on the long side if it was 30 pips. And then 30 pips lower, I sold it at 54.66. I need to be able to buy back at, say, 54.33, 30 pips lower. So as soon as I get filled, I can put my take profit orders in right before that. And when I'm doing this analysis, when I'm picking that, I'm like, okay, that's my spread. I'm also going to want to go in and look at the deviation levels and go, is there a deviation in between? Because what if there's a deviation level like at 28 pips? And we've seen these things. If you've watched them, on the show, if you have access to them, it'll hit them sometimes, to the tick, and then turn around. And so I probably want to get out maybe a couple ticks before the deviation. So I might decide to not get that perfect 1-to-1. I may decide to take profit at 25 pips, because maybe like 30 pips is like 3 pips above the deviation level. I'm going to take profit like a couple ticks before that. So maybe I get out and I make 25 pips on a on a $20 risk, or, whatever. So therefore, if I made 25 on a 20 and I lost 10, I really made 15 on a $20 risk. Now, there's a lot of math there really fast, but it's all basic math. It's all like 10 plus 10 equals 20. 20 plus 10 equals 30. Okay? So it's not calculus. It just, I've done it enough that I can fly through it. But this helps because this does all this math. That's where I get the math from. Okay, it's telling me, you got $4 risk here, you got $16 risk here. We'll add that together. That's $20 risk. So I know I have $20 risk total. I had to make $20 plus the risk on the other side to be 1-to-1 profitable. But I don't want to just be mindlessly like, that's where I'm taking my profit. I want to look at a deviation level, make sure there's nothing in my way that would stop me from, because what if it goes up and it hits that price point and then boom, turns around and I miss my take profit by like 3 ticks, all because I wasn't looking at the deviation levels. So little things like this add up and make a big difference in the news plan. It's not going to be just pure risk reward. You got to look at the chart. I'm also going to look at the report. If it comes out and, the UK, CPI is coming out and the expectation on that number is 2.8, then, it's an inflation number, right? So we're looking to see that number is going to be off. If it moved up to, say, 3.1%, that's over the Bank of England's inflation target. And so I would expect the pound to go up. Pound yen, pound dollar, whatever. Okay, I'd expect it to go up. If the inflation number went down, was lower, let's say by 2.5%, so it was lower by 0.3, then I'd expect the pound to go down. Okay? And the market on this report will overreact a lot. So even if it's just a little bit off, you'll see a pretty huge overreaction. And we'll probably see at least a 50 pip move like within minutes on this. So now you get that 35 to 50 pip move, maybe like 15 down, 35 up. That'd be 50 pips, right? And then, of course, expect that retracement. And then if it's off by enough, then we could really see, how far it goes. But it should go in the direction of the news. In fact, over 95% of the time, it goes in the direction of the news. The pound dollar will trend in that direction. Okay? So if I see it going down and the news is positive, then I'm going to either get out of the way or I'm going to look for a good buy point off maybe a support, a deviation, something like that. So there's a lot of just little trips and, ticks, tips and tricks. I said that 5 times. But a lot of tips and tricks that you can do when doing these news trades. The big key is knowing those stats and then just looking at your charts and going, what is the best plan that I can put together? All right, we all stay right there. I'll be back right after this break.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page at TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
All right, folks, welcome on back here to the Diagnostic Trading Hour. And let's see here what we got. Just checking things out. But basically, you understand that's the straddle. So that's what we're doing. We're going in on these. We have how far is it going to move, what's our range, and what would be the required price to get to for a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. Is there a deviation level in the way? Do we still want the trade? And is that acceptable? Because sometimes, like, maybe the risk is $60. Well, if we expect it to move 70 pips, that's not a good idea. If anything, we might go in and decide to do the opposite, do a binary butterfly or something like that. And I'm even going to go into some new stuff. I'll probably talk about this later this week, but ways to actually combine spreads to have one spread pay for the other. So, which is sort of cool. But just, some different ways to do trades. And, this doesn't always work out perfectly, but it is it's a different way completely to do it. And you have to get rid of all your filters and put them in there so that way you can see if anything lines up that might work out for you. But I'll be revealing more about that later this week. What else do we got? We got one more report here that's coming up tomorrow that you're going to be aware of. That's the U.S. core retail sales. Okay? And that report's going to come out at 8:30, along with retail sales, import prices. Business inventories will come out at 10 o'clock. So, there's a few reports coming out, but you got a few at the same time. Import prices, retail, and core retail all happening at once. And let's see here. So the stats on this, there's a lot of stats. I'm trying to find ones that are worthy of actually being traded. Most of them are not, so I'm probably going to look at doing some butterflies on this also. But one currency pair actually does meet the mold there, and that's euro dollar. 7% of the time hits 50 pips with an average move of 62 pips, and spikes about 20 pips right after. So euro dollar is that one that you expect the big move on, okay? And I would probably lean towards the 50, seeing how low most of these are, but 50 to 60 pips there on the move. And then I'd look across the board and go, what moves the least on this report? And let's see, the least number is going to be, sort of a tie between Aussie dollar and dollar yen. Dollar yen only moves 50 pips 16% of the time, but when it moves like 49 pips on average. So that means 85% of the time, dollar yen is, moving like 40, 45 pips probably. That's pretty much what that number tells me, that it's going pretty high a large majority of the time. So you're probably going to be looking for, seeing if you can get one on about 45 pips or so. Aussie dollar moves 40 pips 45% of the time, but the average move is only 40. So it's actually like 10 pips less. Again, dollar yen, the average move is 50. Aussie dollar, the average move is 40. But the dollar yen breaks 50 only 16% of the time, whereas the Aussie dollar breaks 50 45% of the time. So I'm probably going to be checking dollar yen. And to look at that, I may have to leg into the trade. Okay? So if I'm going to leg in, I go, well, how far do I expect it to move? High to low. So I'll pick a price at any point and go, okay, what's the high to low? And, an hour before, we're looking at 24 pips, high to low. 60 minutes before, we're looking at 19 pips, high to low. And 30 minutes before, we're looking at 14 pips, high to low on dollar yen. So I could look at doing maybe like a binary butterfly on dollar yen, and I could look at doing a straddle on euro dollar, or even a strangle if I wanted to. So you could have a strangled butterfly, or you could have a straddled butterfly. Trade where you put the two together. If euro dollar breaks out and dollar yen stays flat, you win on both. If euro dollar breaks out and dollar yen breaks out, one risk covers the other. If dollar yen breaks out but euro dollar stays flat, that'd be the one bad scenario, but it's the most unlikely scenario based on the statistics. So considering one moves 70% of the time and the other one only moves 16% of the time. So they're more likely to either both break out or both not break out, or do what they statistically do. So, not a bad trade. Probably break even or be profitable if you combine those two together. All right, well, I hope you all picked up a few new tips and tricks today on the Nadex platform and Trading the News, and I will see you tomorrow. Stay tuned. We got another great show coming up for you right after this.
What's the one thing that pulls people back from the breakthrough that they're moving towards? What's the only thing that really stops people from taking action? You and I both know the answer, and sure, we can come up with the reasons why we're not where we want to be, but the only reason that we don't do more with our life is fear. Or if you're an overachiever, call it stress. Simply put, there's something that happened to us in our past that's holding us back from the life we deserve, yet you and I are okay, we're here. So why should we let our past control our future? Exactly. We shouldn't. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN.com, and when it comes to your trading and investing, I can help you overcome your fear of loss. Together, we'll turn weakness into strength with a system I've developed called Mastering Probability. I'll teach you how to make your money work harder for you than you do for it. I'll teach you the tools that provide financial freedom. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com, click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and begin your journey of mastering probability risk-free. It's time to become a pioneer of your future versus a prisoner of your past.